Hello, everyone. I'm today's guest chair, Hayden. We'll be going through the project round robin and discussing also some of the upcoming events. We have lots of presentations to call out, which is very exciting. And then we'll have a little bit of time at the end for any other business, which it looks like we do have a few things today. And if you haven't already, please sign in if you'd like to. So to start, updates for Recore, Fulcio, and Cosine. A couple to call out. We've released Recore 1.1. This has a number of bug fixes and enhancements. There have been no breaking changes. So you'll see that it was cut from head, not from a release branch that we have. We also have Fulcio 1.2, which I'd mentioned in a previous week. This adds support for additional extensions for certificates that are issued for CI platforms. Right now, we just have GitHub Actions, but BuildKite and GitLab will be two others that should have these extensions added in a future release. And you can try out both of these. They've been released to our production environment, accessible at recore.fulcio.sigstore.dev. Were there any updates for Cosine? Cool. So for the next section on git sign timestamping and the root, did somebody want to mention the updates to the v7 root signing? I can mention those if not. The v7 root is being signed right now. The major difference is that a timestamp authority that's being operated by GitHub has been added to the trusted root file, and an NPM delegation has also been added. There's also a fix here that's noted for the trusted root file. One thing also to mention is that if you weren't aware, in the previous v6 root, this trusted root file was added, which is the list of all of the targets that previously were in their own files, and there's additional metadata around expiration for each of these that can now be used. One other thing to mention is that we updated the staging route yesterday. I don't think many folks are using this. I think primarily the Python, JavaScript, and Java clients, I believe, are using this for testing. Something to note is that we had to update the staging route in an incompatible way. This hopefully will be the only time that we do that, but we need to switch over the route to a new set of keys. So if you have an embedded staging route, you need to update it. So this is something that we're discussing right now with Sigstore Python, since they do have an embedded staging route. Were there any other updates for git sign? Sweet. Continuing on, were there any updates for the clients? I see mention of Sigstore Java. I don't see anyone on the call, I think, who's working on Sigstore Java. So I'll just read this verbatim that they've released an updated Gradle plugin. I believe a changelog should be present in the Sigstore Java repo if you'd like to learn more about what was in this. All right, any other updates for clients? Cool. So continuing on, docs. So it looks like Sigstore has been accepted to Google Season of Docs. I don't know if anybody wanted to mention anything here. I don't see Lisa on the call. Well, I'll just mention here that what this gives us is budget to be able to have a tech writer focus on our documentation. This is very, very exciting. If you've seen our docs, sometimes they're a little out of date. There's definitely opportunities to improve them. I'll mention if you see anything as you're scrolling through our documentation that is out of date or unclear, please do file an issue in the docs repo. These are things that can be tackled as part of this project. Huge shout out to Lisa for going through the process of getting us accepted into this. And then Lisa is also working on an application this week to begin the hiring process for Season of Docs. Cool. Continuing on to outreach and events. I believe we talked about a number of these last week, but KubeCon Europe is coming up very shortly. PyCon 2023 is coming up. We also have DevOps France, and it looks like there is a Sigstore workshop that will be presented, and Open Source North America in Vancouver. I believe we discussed these 5 talks last week, but one new thing to call out is that we have OpenSSF days scheduled published. There are 2 Sigstore talks, one on getting involved in research projects and one on some of the fuzzing work that's been done in Recore. It's I believe it's a $25 add-on to the ticket for OSSNA. Sorry, actually, it's independent. You don't need a ticket to OSSNA. The other thing I'll mention that's not documented here is the CFP for OSS EU in Spain this year just opened up. So there is a supply chain security track as normal. So I expect we'll see some more Sigstore related talks presented there. I don't think we have any new blog posts to mention. If there are, let me know. Cool. For Sigstore landscape, it looks like Trace or Tracy has been added to the landscape. And as always, if there's any other projects that you want mentioned, please do file a PR and there are any feedback. Were there any other events or outreach folks wanted to call out? Sweet. All right, on to any other business. Logos. Did anybody have an update here? Potentially somebody from the TAC, if you're aware. So I know that policy controller's logo is being finalized. Let me see if I can open this up real quick. Download it. I can't easily do this. Well, take a look at these variations here. It looks like 1D is particularly popular, and looks like 20 hours ago, this is what was decided. So take a look if you have any other opinions on this. Thanks to everybody who's chimed in so far on this. We also have a new Sigstore logo that's been updated. You'll see that it has now been integrated in all of the places. You'll see this is all different colors of the logo. So if you are using the logo anywhere, please update it accordingly. It looks like there is a mention of a Recore monitor prototype demo. Do we know who added that, if they are on the call? Well, we can maybe come back to that in a future week. I'm not sure if that's referring to another monitor that's been built. We also have the Recore monitor project under the Sigstore organization, which I'm happy to demonstrate or show in a future week. And then there is an ask for a status on this issue. I believe I was chatting with somebody on this issue recently. So I think the short answer here is that we don't have any status right now because there's a workaround, so we haven't made any changes to fix this issue yet. This was something that we punted from the V2 release as a fast follow for 2.0.1. If there's any takers, I'm happy to talk more about this issue and what needs to be done. I think I've got some notes in a, where is this? Linked PR, which is here. So if anybody's interested in taking a look, do let me know. I'm happy to chat through it. Otherwise, I think we'll be getting to this at some point soon, but I can't say when.
Great. That was my question. Thank you. I'll follow up because this is someone inside my company was asking, and then I'll report back, and if it's interested, I'll tell him to reach out to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Great.
I'll say that for the most part, the fix is, it's a little complicated, but I think at this point we know how we need to do it. The main reason I haven't taken a look at it again is just there's a lot of tests that need to be updated as part of this, and that means it'll take a little bit of time. But I'm definitely happy to chat with somebody about trying to get this fixed. And I think if we also talked about the issue, one of the other things too is that we're aware that the BYO PKI experience is suboptimal right now. This was an intentional decision during 2.0 because we had a trade-off between requiring identity, but also trying to support certificates that don't have identity. We leaned pretty hard into the require identity side of things, and we've gotten some good feedback so far. So I think there's a tracking issue for BYO PKI. I can link in the notes later. So if folks have any thoughts, please do let us know how we can make that experience better. All right. Well, you've heard me talk quite a lot. So if there's any other business, I'll wait a moment. Awesome. Well, for the last part, we leave the floor open for introductions. So if there's any new community members that would like to say hi, now's your time, but no pressure if not.
Hey Hayden, this is Felix. Sorry I joined a bit late. I'm the guy who added that point on the Recall Monitor prototype. If you skipped that before.
No, let's use this time right now.
Okay. Would you mind if I shared my screen for a bit?
Of course.
Nice. 1 sec. So what I'd like to show you is a prototype a friend of mine and I built because we realized, okay, so Sigstore and Recall are all super cool, but the thing it hinges on is basically identity theft, or when the key you use to sign, sorry, the public-private key pair is compromised. So our idea was essentially to subscribe to monitor the log and send out notifications when when essentially the identity we monitor for gets found, and it pings you when entry has been created in your name or with that key. So what I'm just going to show is just a basic landing page, and I wanted to show this because right now we're crawling Recore, and I don't think it's in the project's interest to have that crawler running on there all the time. So I was wondering whether maybe it makes sense to integrate that with the project and have access to the database directly, or whether you had already other efforts in this direction that could be combined with it. So I just want to present that idea and listen to some first preliminary feedback that might be popping into your heads right now.
This is really awesome to see. I'd love to talk more with you about this. So we have a Recore monitor repository in Sigstore.
Yes.
That runs on GitHub Actions, and I think there's absolutely an opportunity there to collaborate and figure out how we can improve that. It's fairly bare bones right now. aiming to accomplish the same thing, right? Tracking where a key is used or an email address is used. Ultimately, one of the tricky parts of Recore is that there's so many different ways of specifying types that there's a lot of different types that you need to monitor. I think a UI like this would be great for making it a lot easier. To your point about crawling Recore, we've talked a little bit about figuring out if we can stand up replicas, read-only replicas.
Yeah,
that would be perfect for. Yeah, I don't think we'll open up database access directly, but read-only replicas. Well, it's something to throw around, right? Like I believe cert.sh, which is a monitor for certificate transparency, they've decided to just crawl all of the CT log data, CT log services, and then I think they just give direct database access. But yeah, we talked about replicas. Right now, it's fine if you're crawling it. I guess one question is this you're crawling it, ingesting all of the entries, caching them, and then crawling from that point in time going forward, or are you trying to periodically recrawl all of Recore?
No, it's sort of like from the subscription on, what gets seen. We don't even store it. We just take a look at it. If there's something inside that we wanted to, I mean, it's just a very rough prototype, right? So, which I just want to present. So yeah, then I'll reach out to you sort of offline, Hayden. It's very cool. I also looked at the Recore monitor thingy, but to me it seemed like that it was mainly for making sure that the log hasn't been tampered with, that it's sort of integrity is still there, whatever the
yes,
expression is.
Yeah, that was the original focus of it, and I think you can see it's we tacked on identity monitoring. Given we're querying everything already, we were like, well, we can add on identity monitoring too. But yeah, as you noted, right, these are two separate roles, which is consistency monitoring for making sure the log remains append only, and monitoring for identities. But yeah, let's have some time to chat. I'd love to.
Yeah. Just one last question: Is there a read-only Recore replica already out there?
Not currently, no.
Okay, all right then.
I'll mention one other idea we have thrown around too at one point is publishing every entry to a pub sub, so that you could just subscribe and get every entry sent to you. I think there might be a open issue for that. I'll chase that down and send that to you. But that was another idea that we had.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the working principle is very similar to our implementation. So
yeah. I don't see it. I'll chase down. If not, I'll file one and tag you. Awesome. I'm really excited to see that you're working on this. This is definitely an area that has needed some improvement.
Yes. Yeah, great to hear that you like it. And yeah, let's chat offline. Thanks for the airtime.
Awesome. Well, were there any other businesses or introductions that people wanted to give? Awesome. Well, thank you all for attending. We will meet again in 2 weeks.
Yep. Thank you, Hayden. Have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.